Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this month's Troubleshoot.sh community meeting. I'm Triva. I'm Dev Avocado for Replicated, and I am joined today by two very special guests, Andrew Lavery, who is from our engineering team, and by Chris Sanders. Chris, would you mind once again introducing yourself to the audience?
Sure. I'm the Director of Customer Reliability Engineering at Replicated, and so we're focusing on the tooling that makes support easier, better, faster for us and our vendors. And so obviously Troubleshoot is a big part of that, and you will hopefully be seeing us engaging a lot more in Troubleshoot in the future as we contribute new features and improvements.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm really happy that you're here. And I hope that you're able to join us more often in the future.
Me too.
So, sorry.
No, me too. Sorry. I'm not muted. I just a verbal agreement.
All right. So this is take two. I'm just going to come right out and say it. I forgot to hit record, but we're doing a little bit different format today. Because we have kind of a sparse audience, what we're going to be doing is going through some currently open issues in GitHub, just doing a quick overview of what the issue is, maybe talk about some approaches to getting those solved. And at the end of our meeting, I'm actually going to try to solve one of those issues myself. I'm going to make a total fool of myself because I'm a total nervous typer. But that's just to show that it's not hard at all to dive into that type of thing. If you want to contribute to an open source project, you just have to do it. You just have to start it. And even if you do run into any type of hiccups or like bottlenecks or issues, or you can't figure something out, there are tons of people around in the community to help you. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into it. So everyone has the link to the agenda. And I've already kind of started the list of the first issue that I wanted to talk about. And that was one that was recently opened, I think an hour ago, having to do with JSON files not populating properly or not populating GVK information under cluster resources. So Dimitri, unfortunately, is not here today, but he did a good job putting in the information about what's happening. Andrew, would you be comfortable giving us a little bit more detail on what's happening?
With that particular bug?
Yes.
Give me a second. I need to read it again because that's the first time I've seen it either. So yeah, presumably the thing that we're collecting with cluster resources is just, it's not including GVK information, as he says. I'm just trying to open up the code and see if I can show where in the code that is happening, because it's going to be a little different. Sorry, I'm being slow here, but where is that? I'm looking at analyze. That will not help. Okay, so let me just share my screen for a second.
Sure.
So this is the cluster resources code. So presumably somewhere in here, it's like, cluster resources pods. So getting pods from this function, making an array of core v1 pods. So, or actually that's unhealthy pods, but point being, yeah, pods by namespace. There we go. So yeah, so presumably just this isn't including the GVK information for some reason. Or it could be that we're missing something in the ticket, because I would expect this to include the GVK information. Or either that or the JSON Marshal is stripping it. One of those. But I think that's the general overview of the bug.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that. That probably wouldn't qualify as a good first issue, but if someone were interested, yeah, don't try to dive into that one if it's your first time trying to squash a bug, unless you're feeling ambitious. because you never know where it might lead. Could lead to a job. Who knows? But we're going to go ahead and jump over to the next one. Let's see. What else would be interesting to talk about? So let's take a look at issue 482. And that one was submitted by, I'm not sure who this is, Jeff Anderson. Thanks, Jeff, for that. Having an issue with storage class analyzers. They are not able to pass warn fail onto more than name. Okay. All right, that one's been open since November, so I'm going to go ahead and add it to the list. This one also would not be a good first issue, but if someone were interested in trying to tackle it, there is
it could actually be a decent first issue. Like that's just it's a more of a feature request than it is anything else. But yeah, it's just again. So it would be expanding the analyze storage class to so here's the data that we store about the storage class. Mm-hmm. So we do store the provisioner and we store mount options. Yeah. Which is read only, soft, other things like that. So the issue is that our analyzer here doesn't have all we're analyzing is this stuff. So you'd need to expand how we're analyzing things and increase the number of analysis options. It could be a good first issue. It's not as in the weeds as the other one we were just looking at.
Interesting. Okay. So, all right, I take back my previous assertion and I'm actually going to add the good first issue tag to that one. And if anybody is interested in picking that one up, ping us on the @Troubleshoot channel on Kubernetes Slack. And if you run into any hiccups, we'll help you along with it. Same for the other one too. Or actually, I don't think I have permission to add tags. Andrew, would you add the tag?
Sure.
And speaking of good first issues, I was eyeballing issue number 407 that's been open since August of 2021. And that one is about the output path for pre-flight and support bundle should be configurable. I agree. This one was opened by Dan.
Yep, that makes sense.
And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So, Andrew, would you mind giving like a little overview of what's happening?
Okay, so when you run Troubleshoot from the CLI, well, it produces a file. That's sort of what the point is, or pre-flight. And yeah, when you run pre-flight and support bundle, it makes a file, like a big old bundle full of stuff. Right now, it appears that we just put that in the home directory. Yeah. And that's not the best option. So I should make that go in like the current directory by default, make it configurable, make it something. So, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. So I'm going to get my terminal ready. Can you give us like a code overview while I'm doing that?
I am looking at the code to figure out where this is going to be.
Okay. It's all right. We're just going to be tapping away for a couple of seconds.
Yes. So yeah, I think I'm just sort of making sure that it's actually I'm actually looking at the right code, because boy, that would be embarrassing.
So I actually, while we're both getting ourselves together, let's go ahead and shift our shift the agenda around just a tiny bit, and we're going to start open floor now so that we have time for everyone who has something that they want to bring up to bring that thing up. So going to open it up for open floor. Anything troubleshoot related, anything open source related, or anything you just want to get off your chest. You know, this is a safe space for the most part, but keep in mind this is going to be uploaded to YouTube, so like safe for work.
So it's not that safe of a space, is what you're saying.
It's somewhat safe, semi-safe. Like I can do some editing though, if need be.
I can provide a little bit of something. I don't have any promises or commitments on dates yet, but one of the feedbacks we've been getting as we've been really leaning into using support bundles is that new people are finding it difficult to find the information in the support bundle. Like say you don't have an analyzer and you're just looking at the support bundle and you're trying to get a feel for what's going on. It's not always intuitive just because you know Kubernetes, which file you're looking in, or even the format of those files a lot of times is JSON. It can be hard to find. So we were finding that sometimes you'd spend several hours to realize that there was a log file with an error message in it that it just took you a long time to find. So we're exploring better ways to investigate those, in particular with a slant toward what would make it more approachable to somebody that's familiar with Kubernetes. So right now, one of our engineers is looking at the possibility of effectively proxying API calls to the support bundle so that you could use tools like kubectl to browse. So that way you could ask for like namespaces or logs or pods and get back responses you're used to seeing without having to understand the on-disk location. So we'll see where that goes. It's still early days. We're just testing it out now to see what that might look like, what that might mean for on-disk formats. But if it makes it a lot more approachable to people so that they can use the support bundle to find issues and then they can worry about on-disk formats a little later in their engagement, that might be really nice. So hopefully that turns into something quite useful.
All right. And yeah, I think I've got the code path here, so I'm going to link to it. If this is what you're looking for, Triva. So this is the troubleshoot CLI that we get. I'll share my screen if you'd like. Yeah. So this is sort of the list of parameters that you get with kubectl support bundle. Is of course, the redactors, whether to enable, disable default redactions, all that stuff. And I think the proposal is to add a -o flag or out file flag and have that store, will that be like, where we put the output file. The command that actually runs is run troubleshoot. And this is large. So I'm not sure where in here the actual storage of a file is yet, but I'm sure it's in here somewhere.
All right, so this is going to be fun. And by fun, I mean it's going to be probably like interesting. Okay. So I need a few more minutes to set up. Open floor is going to resume for the next 3 minutes. We're going to cut it off at 2:21 Eastern. So anything else that you'd like to discuss open source related, have at it. And then we're going to do some bug bashing. I guess I'll continue on by saying that I am very appreciative of the troubleshoot community that we have so far. And I am very much looking forward to the upcoming year. We have a lot of events planned for you. I don't want to spoil any surprises yet, but they're great. They're going to be a lot of fun. And I hope that you're all able to join. If not, at the time of the particular events, there will be ways for you to join in async. So keep an eye out for that. Watch the app troubleshoot channel in Kubernetes Slack. Visit replicated.com. Keep an eye on the blogs. I'll be over in like my little open source corner posting about what's happening with both troubleshoot and scheming hero every once in a while. Or if you see a random woman wearing a weird dress with a dog, that's probably me. Come up and ask. As long as you do so from at least 6 feet away, because we have to be like responsible and socially distanced. So that is my open floor update. Anyone else before we move into the thing that I am dragging my feet to get into?
I have the code that says the file name, so I can link that to you if you want that.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Sort of this block. So I'm just trying to link to it because links hard. Again, sharing my screen for a moment. So currently what we're doing is we've got the base name is based on the time, well, support bundle dash time. Sort of makes sense. And I think we are calling this, which I don't know what this is doing. I would want to see a test for that. But we're taking a base name from this, and we're just like, I think we're doing it in a temp directory initially, but this is the file path that we put things at in the end, is results response.archive path. And you can see that we are taking file name and using it in a couple places to write stuff to. Or we're using bundle path as the case may be. So if we want to change it, that's probably where to change it. So we'd probably want to change ops up here to add a new parameter of like override destination or something like that.
So I had a question to ask you. My normal way of submitting PRs and actually just forming the PR to begin with is just kind of randomly diving into some code, seeing something that looks somewhat relevant after a grep, and then just kind of throwing it out. What testing steps would you prefer that a noob, someone like myself, would what steps would you prefer in testing that they would take before they submitted their pull request?
Sort of at least the minimal tests of like, hey, does the new thing work if you are like, if you collect a support bundle and you're not passing the flag, what happens? If you collect a support bundle and you are passing the flag, what happens? Sort of those very basic things would be great. Actually, I need to see where this is called from, because this might be called from, no, it's only called from one spot. Or no, it's called from two, never mind. Except that doesn't ever get called. I'm rambling. So yeah, for testing, I think we have largely assumed in the past that we will have to do a lot of the testing. Like the people will test that it's functionally correct, but we'll still need to look through and validate everything, because that is what you do with third-party PRs in the first place. I don't know. I'm rambling.
And Andrew, I didn't have I was poking around for just a second. I couldn't 100% verify. Is it running the standard Go tests on PR? Is that what I saw? So if you write your tests, it should show.
If you add Go tests, those will run. There are some additional tests that are run as well, I believe. Or actually, that might be a different project that I'm thinking of.
Okay, so kind of at a high level.
So there is a if you look at the .github build test deploy workflow, there are things like validate preflight, which will run preflight against, like it will run the preflight binary and look at the results. And same with validate support bundle. And so there are some runs of the compiled binary as well. And so if you want to add things to that, feel free. But in general, yes, if your stuff can be tested with a Go test, add a Go test for it.
Right. And if you're taking on if you're taking one of the good first issues, hopefully that is something that is relatively straightforward to write a Go test for. So if you're able to just add a Go test for anything you modify, or modify existing Go test, hopefully if you're modifying something, that's a good start, right?
Yeah.
And if you need to go to some of those more integration style post-compiled tests, hopefully you're a little more familiar. And right. Code is documentation, I think, right now for how those work.
Yep. You mean docs shouldn't have a .go file extension?
I didn't say that.
Okay, so this is interesting. There is an option for multiple people to share screens at a time. So I just enabled that because I'm about to mess some stuff up, and I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen now. All right. Is everyone able to see okay?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So this is the code block that Andrew was referring to, and I am very, very scared of messing something up, but we're just going to go ahead and dive into it. Going to jump over to my terminal and CD into that. And then which file am I going to be looking at? And I'm just going to preface this by saying I'm not a gopher. You're going to find that out. So this is going to be fun. We're going to do it. It's going to be fun. All right. So I have lost my terminal already. So I'm just going to do this. There we go. We are back again. Thanks. Is that font size okay?
Sure.
Is it too small?
I'm fine reading it.
Cool. Okay. And then we were looking for line 60. What's this start with? Base name. That probably wouldn't make any sense to try to search for that.
All right. So what are you looking for?
I was looking for that code block that you were talking about.
So code block I was talking about is line like 50-ish.
Okay.
So to go up to the top, all the way to the top of the file. Okay. So we'll probably need to, you see a support bundle create ops?
Yeah.
So let's add a new option to this.
Okay.
So no, just go down further. We'll add it to the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah. So after from CLI, let's add yeah. So let's add like output path.
Camel case?
It needs to start with a capital letter.
Okay.
Yes, and then type is string. That is not tab space. Those are spaces. Yep.
Oh, good Lord.
Yes, this is what there's an automatic formatter for. So, but yeah. So
hey, don't judge me and my Vim.
Yeah.
Okay, string.
Yeah, it has no syntax highlighting. It's not real. Anyways, let's keep going. So now if we'll go down a bit into the collect support bundle from spec code. Yep. No, it's the function right beneath you. Yeah. Keep going down.
Excellent.
Yeah, this function, because this is the function that had the bundle path in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what we're going to be doing is, well, we're going to override bundle path if, so we'll keep going. So this is, so keep going until you find, yeah, base name. So we're probably going to put this whole thing in an if block. So add a couple, do you want me to do this? I can show you what I'm thinking for this, or I can let you do this,
we can do
or
like
something.
Let's try the Twitch here.
This is the most. Yeah.
I have another call at the bottom of the hour I do have to switch to, but I'm going to try to make these more often and clear my schedule up so I can be on these more regularly. So thanks, and I'll hope to join you moving forward monthly.
All right. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully we'll have better format next time. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
All right.
I'll share this. Just what I was. So we've got.
Here, I'll stop sharing. Go ahead.
Output path. Yeah. Go output path string. So now. If start output path empty, then do something. That makes sense to you. So the two things that we need to, well, the only thing that's used later is bundle path. So we need to declare that up here. Now we're going to take this whole section and put the output, and we're not going to shadow bundle path because that would be painful. So this is the default path, and this is the same logic as before. Mm-hmm. So for this, overriding the path, then we'll need to choose we'll need to make the full path from it if it's a relative path. So I think it's just file path dot abs. Sure. Yep. File path dot abs. Cool. Of bundle path of actually not bundle path of so it's not typing right today.
Welcome to my life.
I'm gonna see if tempter is used at all. Oh, and file name is used. Great.
So what's that you're like copying and pasting or like cutting and pasting around?
The existing code for choosing the file path and all of that. So since we don't want to use that for if we're using the override path, we don't need the temp directory, we don't need the base name, we don't need the file. We don't need the file name. So yeah. So override path here. So I think that's override path is just going to be bundle path. Mm-hmm. And then file name is going to be, you can get the file path from that. Is it? Yeah, base.
Thanks for joining in, by the way, Andrew. I owe you a box of s'mores.
All right. And then, yeah. Let's actually do this the other way around. Okay, so we've got that. This all should behave exactly the same as it did previously in the situation that it should behave the same as previously if you don't provide an override path. If you do provide an override path, then it might work. We haven't tested yet. So let's go up to where this is called from, which is called from run. And create ops is here. Now we have a path. Conducted string. Key is output path.
Cool.
So and now if we look at this file here, I think it's actually, where's this called from? Yeah, it's called from here. So let's make a new command flag string called output path. Go. So let's see if we've got everything here. This is calling it, this is using it. So we've got all that. I'm going to stop the share for a second and get the CLI pulled up with this because I'm looking at other things right now.
By the way, Douglas says hi.
All right.
And I just have to say, like watching you while you were coding out, I can see why Golang is such a popular language. Like I am still belligerently refusing to let go of like doing things in Bash, no matter how gross it gets. But I can understand the affinity for Go. It just makes sense.
Sometimes.
Well, yeah.
So what have we got? We've got, well, we just have a make build. Oh, it's been a while since I've been in this. Yeah, make support bundle. Cool. So now we're building it because, of course, we are.
Go on, do the thing.
Yeah,
So
it's taking a moment. I think it hasn't run this in a long while, and so it doesn't have any of the cache.
Gotcha.
It does not normally take nearly this amount of time. So I'm just making sure that I'm using the binary I just built, which is bin support bundle. Cool. So I'm just making sure that built. And
I see it.
output path. Yep. Okay. And so I'm just going to run this with like targz.io has a example spec. So
Cool.
let's see where it produces a file.
I'm crossing my fingers. I hope this works because those file names annoy me. Uh-oh. No.
Oh, that's fine. Yes, this is one of my test DigitalOcean clusters that is probably not enormously happy with this particular set of queries. It's a lot of queries.
Whatever backend they use at Catacode, it does the exact same kicking and or screaming occasionally.
For some reason, this DigitalOcean cluster is not running Ceph or Longhorn. Oh, that's fine.
Perish the thought.
Yeah.
Go on then. I'll edit this down. So I guess while that's running, like, what's the testing process like for like features that you push, like for work? Because clearly you're not using this thing. But
no, I mean, if I was doing something for work, I mean, I would like test it manually. But that's what we're doing now, is testing it manually. Like before I make it a PR, I'm of course going to test the code path and make sure that it's not horribly broken. So that's basically what we're doing now, is making sure it's not horribly broken. It might be horribly broken. That's why we're doing it. But so like once it's actually out, I mean, we have pre-release tests, we have all sorts of stuff like before we make a release, but it's largely based on what did we change. Let's make sure we test all of that.
Cool. Uh-oh.
All right. So that is why we test. That is a directory. So I did something wrong. So this actually looks like.
Can we try it again, but instead of specifying the GZ name, specify a new directory? So it creates a new directory for you. Like, can you put it in an existing directory or?
Well, it could. Yeah, sure. Why not? Either way, I think it's just, no, this is broken. But like, I'm pretty sure, no, I just didn't do this right. So.
Well, you're really, really close if it is wrong, but.
No, I don't think that's, well, it's potentially close, but I don't think it's quite. Let's show differences. What's the difference? Thanks, Golang, for telling me that there was a conflict, but the files were identical. Cool. So I think this is more a problem with the temperature.
Oh.
Perhaps. What does find file name do? Oh, that's what it does. Okay, it just makes sure that they're. I should be calling that anyways. So let's do that. So I'm just adding in some of the code here to prevent collisions because we already had the code, so I'll keep it. But that doesn't answer the why is it like why is it making this directory instead of why is it making that as a directory? Well, let's, yeah, actually, it is probably just a temperature problem. So let's see. I'm going to build this again, and I'm going to try it without the .targz.
All right, take two.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, that's running. Are you planning to come to Kubecon this year?
I have no idea.
Or okay, better question. Do you want to go to Kubecon this year?
Which Kubecon?
So I was thinking the one that's going to be happening in Spain, but there's also the one in Detroit that's probably going to be super exciting and also easier to get to.
Yeah, well, so I will probably be going to the one in Detroit because I am in Michigan right now. So it's pretty easy to get to. That being said, the one in Spain would be really sweet.
That would be nice. Crossing my fingers, hoping that something gets accepted so I can eke my way in the door.
Yeah. Spending some time in Valencia would be fun. Whether or not I'm going to Kubecon.
I think the last time I was even anywhere near Spain, it was a layover in Barcelona where I had to sleep on the floor because they shut the airport down at 10 o'clock on the dot.
Yeah.
and like it's expansive and it's gorgeous. There's tons of things to do during business hours. But
Right.
at night, you're on your own. But it was fine. It was an experience.
Well, thankfully, I haven't had any crazy layovers recently on my flights. But
That's right. You were just in Greece. Yeah.
and then Italy. So
Oh, wow.
most recently, I was in Italy.
Cool.
Not traveling as much as Breezy is, but yeah, some of us.
I don't know if birds travel as much as Breezy does. So that's not a fair comparison. But how was Italy?
Fun. Yeah. Saw a lot of art, lots and lots and lots of art.
Makes sense.
It was also warmer than it is here in Michigan, which shouldn't be too much of a surprise. All right. Well, so this looks like
Push up, Seth. Okay, so that's
yeah.
odd.
So we have a my test file. We do not have a my like we didn't clean up the directory.
Okay.
So, but we have the file that we requested, my test file.tar.gz. So that is progress. What I think that means is that bundle path should just be a temperature path. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this code. I'm going to move it out, back out because it was out to begin with. And I'm going to take the bundle path code. I'm going to move it out. So now, maybe this might still use the temperature, but then so let's give this a go, see if this works. Now, all that we're changing is the base name, basically.
Okay.
And actually, let's just do this. So now we're removing more duplicated code.
Gotcha.
And let's give it another go.
Yeah, give it another go. just thought about it. Am I? Yes. I am wearing my Longhorn t-shirt today. Underneath my layers of warm generating things because it's snowing outside. So yeah, go Longhorn. And while that's running, I don't remember which channel you posted it in, but you posted what was it? Field rats, the deer.
Oh yes, yeah.
Why do you call
Giant
them
rats. That? They are giant rats.
But they're so cute. Why would you call them that?
Spoken like someone that has never seen a deer up close.
I have not.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that they're very destructive.
Yes.
Okay.
They're very destructive. They're giant. They eat all of your stuff. And yeah. All right. So this looks like it. Do we do have a my test file. Cool. So it looks like this is working. My test file.tar.gz is here.
Cool.
Actually, let's toss this in. I'm going to test to make sure that that is a valid thing.
Sure. So, all right. So basically to add in a new flag, you added the two files under command, intuitively named, and then one under package. Just move some code around, added a couple of things here, moved a couple of things there. It really wasn't that hard. Wow. Yeah, I say that as I sit here doing nothing, right?
Yeah, okay, cool. Yes, it was a tarball. And yeah, here's the code diff. Not all that big. And there we go.
That's amazing. That was so cool. That was super cool. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's what we do. So
indeed. So just like that, what was it? 45 minutes. We have squashed a bug and solved an issue. Well,
we squashed half a bug at most. This doesn't do the other half of it.
Well, we morbidly wounded it. How about
that? Maybe.
Or we trapped it under a glass.
Sure. Yeah, we did half of it. So we did it for support bundle, but we didn't do it for pre-flight.
Right. Maybe that could be a project for next time. And that time, or this time, I'm actually going to do the thing and not kind of just depend on you to walk me through it because I'm an idiot. But I do appreciate you doing the little walkthrough and everything. That was great. All right, everyone. So we lost Andrew. He had to go ahead and get back to the real job that he's actually paid to do. But we just squashed half a bug live on our community meeting. And I think this is going to be a regular occurrence. So if you enjoyed this, then leave some feedback down below or ping an app troubleshoot on the Kubernetes Slack, or you can reach me on Twitter. I'm pretty available pretty much everywhere. And I'm always happy to get new messages. But thank you all so much for watching. This was a lot of fun. I hope that we can bring you more fun events like this, fun virtual events like this throughout the year. And I just really appreciate your time. And I hope that we all see you again next month, hopefully live, so we can crack jokes together. But until then, I'll see you. Bye.